Welcome back. Look at Shroud just warming up, getting his caffeine high. Obviously, that is a substance that is legal in esports. Skadoodle getting his headset on right now as well. Oh, look at that. Little food being eaten as well. Apparently, it's quite delicious. But the teams have done all their preparation. They're energized. Dignitas, back-to-back games for them, back-to-back best-of-3s for them. And this time, it's the end of the road in a good way for one of these two teams. The loser will drop down, of course, to play yet another match on Saturday in the arena, a final decider should they need it, but the winner goes straight through, and that's a big bonus.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, okay, I was like, he's gonna grab this one. I'm gonna grab the ball.
You're gonna grab it, all right. Welcome to the desk, Dan, by all means.
Hey guys. So I need to do that. So this is a really cool matchup because Dignitas, I said it in the cast as well. Like that they are a team. It's fated now that they do this one way or another. Of course, Cloud9 earlier today they did look a little bit weak, and I actually want to pose the question to the desk. Do you think that Cloud9 looked a little bit weak because they were just maybe not as focused because they're not playing Fnatic? Do you think it's like a respect thing, or what do you think was the case? Because that seemed like a much weaker Cloud9. Nothing to take away from their opponents generally, but yeah.
I mean, we touched it a bit. Like
this, but okay.
We touched it a bit. At the desk before, like me and Natu, we were saying that like it's basically you have this feeling that you're gonna win no matter what happens. So, you know, it's not so much that they don't respect them; it's just that they feel that they're so much better.
Careful
than
what
them.
you say, YNK, because Schneider's just like giving you this death glare right now.
He's from Serbia. He's got himself covered. Look,
I can say whatever I want
quickly,
here.
we're gonna cut Semler. You said you have a joke. It's never funny when you're put on the spot, but what was it?
No. I just thought that you know that. Nothing was saying, oh, yeah, we were a little rusty out there. And I was like, oh, is that because you guys don't prec anymore? But,
okay.
Just
well, there you go. That said, we did say, well, at least we're not in London because then there would be no buses coming by. And then you get run over twice when they did eventually show up. But that said, we said it was going to be the end of the road for one of these two teams in a good way. Of course, the winner of this series will qualify directly into the next major. And this is what they're playing for.
There comes a time in every man's life when you have to admit defeat. Despite hours, weeks, and years of training, suddenly something goes wrong. And in the fragment of a second, you are not the winner anymore. This creates something. A feeling inside that tells you to keep on fighting and not to give up. The defeat becomes an inspiration and makes the obstacle easier to overcome. Your training has a whole new purpose. It's not really training anymore. It's a victorious warm-up round. Victory is coming. Your defeat has made you stronger. You are ready to win. Win again.
MVP with a spray down, triple, quad kill, they all line up. Now he's trapped in the back line with an AWP with a real chance to finish this. The shot as he jumps! Pushing off and it doesn't look possible here. Rain gets 3 kills though. One will lift the back, take out the quad kill. Are you kidding me? Rain, he picks up every single one.
They want to go with the double. And Apex picks them off as they go rotating in. This is big!
Oh, good grenade, that's a touchdown. Look at the damage done. And Fletcher, draw that shot. Oh my god, Fletcher, what an incredible hold for the jump shot. He's going to jump off of that. And take down JW. Oh, what kind of break. Oh my god, Exist, what are you doing? Takes down 3 members in 3 seconds. Wow, what a shot on the RPK. Gets the point on the Maniac. What a monster.
Well, if that doesn't get you excited about the major, I don't know what will. Chills down the spine. I want that guy's voice at the start. My God.
It was glorious.
Don't ruin it, Semler. That was great. That's a perfect preview. I think that definitely sums up esports in general right there, and not just the major that's coming up. But one of these two teams, they're going to qualify for that in just I don't know what, an hour's time, I guess, when this best of 3 finishes. If it goes to
that's a fast best of 3.
It's a really fast best of 3, man.
What did I say?
What are you trying to say? It's
an hour.
An hour.
What did I say? Oh, well, you're right. Whatever. I didn't even clue in. I was like, what are you talking about? No, that's true. All right. 5 hours, Dan? Is that better for you?
Oh, well.
I'm enjoying myself, you know. I don't mind.
YNK doesn't want to be a part of this. You know.
It's fine. He's distanced himself long enough, but now you're thrown under the fire. You're definitely part of it, YNK.
Yeah, he's used to obsing it, right? You know,
That's
he's
right.
just used to watching it.
Yeah, shaking his head out back, and oh my God, I can't believe it. But let's start with you on that note then. So we do preview, and Dan posed the question: do we think that it was, you know, Cloud9 not really living up to their opposition in the fact that, you know, it wasn't someone they respect as much, but now they are going against Dignitas, who's got more reputation than the Finnish team?
Yeah.
Does that mean better for them, or
I mean,
worse for them? How they
it's
play?
crunch time for Cloud9. Like, it's the game that's going to take them to Cluj. I mean, everyone would agree, and I think they, most of all, that they belong there, like at the major, probably the top 8. So I think they're going to be much more serious about the whole game. I think that they're going to bring their A game now, and it's going to be much better than what we saw against Rocket, for sure.
It's actually quite funny because imagine if they do win here, and let's say they go and they're qualified. But if the team that doesn't, they have this stress over the next few days. We have to then wait for ages to then have your chance, like to then have that game that will maybe mean that you're qualified or not. So just doing it right now, right at the start of the event, would definitely be a lot of pressure off of them. And I mean, Cloud9, I think everyone's going to consider them favorites.
Well, let's weigh the pros and the cons here, gentlemen. So.
Such a man of matter. Just a businessman. Let's get right to the black and white. I want bottom numbers here.
Let's see. You know, if you were to lose today, that means that you are going to play in the arena. Okay.
It's pressure.
Yeah. You know, you're playing Globen Arena in the middle of Stockholm. It's going to be packed full of CS fans. That experience right there is going to be pretty sick. So there's the pro. The con is that you're going to get second seed, and you'll probably get murdered in the groups or get slotted with 2 top-tier guys. So it's not going to make your group any easier. But worth the arena? Worth playing.
I don't know if it is. I've heard hints that C9, if they win this, are going to try and book some early plane tickets home because they're a team that's been away a lot this year. They want to get home. They want to, you know, get some rest. They head to Australia not too far away from now as well, which is a lot of travel all the way from North America. So the more rest these guys get, arguably the better.
I mean, for sure, like they had issues after Cologne. They obviously had to fix some things about their game and everything, but they went straight to Dubai. It's, again, another long flight, another long trip. In between Dubai and Cologne, I think they had some sponsor stuff, conventions or whatever that they had to attend that, like, disallow them from practice as well. I think that's a real problem. I think more of these Tier 1 teams should look up to Fnatic and how they handle their schedule and everything, because they like attend the big events, but they have on the other hand as well a lot of time to practice and to like brush things up, to change a few things so they're ready for the big events.
I've got the real reason why they want to win and take first seed and go home early.
Why's that?
TwitchCon, baby.
It's true. I want to watch that H1Z1 Invitational. That's going to be nutty.
It's happening.
It's going to be fun.
It's happening.
It's going to be fun. But we've got bigger things at stake, and you're right. They could want to go to that. Can I just say, Semler, that from here, you almost look like you have gray hairs.
I do.
You do?
Yeah, that's what running Case King did to me.
Never, ever. Well played. I've never noticed them before. This is incredible. God, you're an old man.
Yeah, I am.
Just further out there. Just you've lost your youth, Semler.
To get us back on track. To get us back on track, Dan.
Yeah.
That's why he had a tear in his eye. He heard his voice from when he was young.
Oh, YNK. He's got the banter now, too. Welcome to the desk for sure. Couch, I guess. Start us off, Dan. Let's walk through. We already saw Shroud on screen, but we're going to jump in where nothing's shown. Sorry, Shroud, you get cut.
I mean, Nothing's always had like a lot of spotlight, as the entire American scene always heralded him as being one of the biggest talents, and he's really started to come together with this new Cloud9 lineup. So it's really great to see him doing well. He's such a good, strong character for morale on the team as well. And Sean Gares, this guy is so incredibly intelligent, and he thinks about everything. He's incredibly analytical. He's very, very good at being the brain behind the team, essentially, the main driving factor in that sense, of course, the in-game leader. And Freakazoid, one of the new pickups, one of the new 2 pickups who are on the end, he is a very interesting player because
he can't hold that. He's going to smile. He can't hold it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see how long he can hold that.
This guy is a character, but he is excellent from that morale perspective as well. Such a huge character in the team.
I'll give it to him. There's the smile.
There it is.
You really did it for me. I knew he could hear me.
Just to get a reaction, you know, out there and like, okay, never mind.
But yeah,
So-
obviously entry fragger and then lastly Skadoodle. Definitely for me, potential for top 3 AWP the last 6 months. At some points in those 3 months, top 2 AWP. This guy has been really sick. So excellent AWP player to watch out for.
You see, it's not hard for Skadoodle to have that reaction though, just because all he has to think is, I've never made it to top 8 in a major. Oh, and then just, you know, it's not hard for him to have a dead face because he's dead on the inside.
They were definitely disappointed with the last one, then making it into this one is the first step of redeeming them. But of course, as we look at their total stats, best map, interestingly, is Cash, but we're going to also take a peek at their opposition for this, Dignitas, who just came off, much like Cloud9 in the morning, a 2-0 win in their first game of this Group A. So, Semler, yeah, I mean, you know these guys well. Danish scene, you've been around in the area,
really
in the
trap
realm.
music.
Why?
Because look at them traps.
Oh my God, you are disgusting.
I'm going to sit
disgust
back
me.
and let you redeem yourself.
You know, that's totally what Freak listens to at the gym. Just saying.
Redeem yourself, Semler, please.
Yeah,
Get
just
serious with the Dignitas roster.
Okay, Pimp. I mean, one of the hardest working players, hands down, fully devoted to CS. He's been just nonstop grinding for years now to get into a position where he can win a tournament. Now he's got a roster that may be capable. It's the young and upcoming talent in Denmark. He's picked up the AWP. That's definitely put a bit of a damper on things for him because he has to rework now how to approach hopping. About a year and a half ago, going on 2 years, he was talking about becoming a primary hopper for a Danish team, but it's been a long time since, obviously. So he's still working that out. Schneider, the only major winning player on this team, won DreamHack winner 2013 with Fnatic. At the time, hailed as one of the very best aimers players in the world, still has some of that old magic. So, I mean, he hasn't gone anywhere, and he's definitely now like the anchor for the team, it feels. MSL, in-game leader, one of the best in-game leaders right now, or at least we think so, just because of the impact that he had on the team when he first joined up with it. It was a team before under the wings of Fetish that was struggling immensely to get rounds, to close games. When he showed up, boom, he revitalized everything. He had a plan, and they've been doing a fantastic job since he's joined. AC, young and up-and-coming talent. There were rumors going around that he was going to get picked up by TSM at one point. He's been on that roster back under the Fetish days. He was dropped to bring Cage and be back in, and he found his home here on Dignitas, but he is definitely one of the tip-top talents, you could say, in the world, not only just Denmark. And then to round things up, Kjærby, youngest player, I think, right now in the scene pretty much, 17, up and coming. He's like the new generation, the new blood. And, you know, talking about like he just, you know, paints the walls red when he gets into a server because this guy's a monster. He was also hyped as like the new device or the young device, you know, back in Denmark, just because he was so good in those mixed servers, etc. He was having such an impact. Everybody was like, who the hell is this kid and what is he going to do, right? So he's 17 and he's already playing on the biggest stage in the world. That's got to tell you something. You got to keep your eyes on this guy because he's going to go places. Give him a few years to mature, and you're probably looking at the next, you know, top tier star.
Well, and you've also got guys like now with Schneider being on the team and AZ who have create space with the rifle. You can say the same with Pimp when he has it, but it gives Kjærby space. If he can get unleashed like that, he could be another factor, like you were saying, Yanko, about closing things out. Exactly, which is, you were saying closing rounds was a problem for them. If Kjærby does mature enough and start to fit that gap, they're going to have a late punch as well.
I mean, I think that's something we have to emphasize, like the fact that he just 17 years old. I mean, and he's already playing at the big scene, as Semler pointed out. So I think that in time, he's definitely going to improve and get that consistency. It's something you get with experience, playing big games. I think it's definitely coming.
I still can't get over Schneider's face in that photo, but we saw for them best map, Mirage. Interesting thing about the map pool that I've noticed, and this is kind of slightly off topic, but still applies to a lot of the teams that we see, is teams tend to ban out first their worst map, which means there's always the chance that map they don't want to play, that you know, it's like, would you rather play the other team's best map or your worst? We'll get rid of your worst. So that means there's a lot of chances that teams do get their best maps in the pool unless they just happen to line up. We haven't really seen, I guess, Fnatic occasionally, TSM occasionally, a team that has the ability to ban out the other team's best map. It's always left in there for available pick.
That's what Dignitas does as of right now. They don't have a specific map they don't play. They just adjust to their opponents. Is that how they like to play in general? Or is it just because, like, of the situation now that they're like just brought Schneider in or whatever? So I'm not really sure, but it's what they do, and that's what I think this map veto is going to be interesting for sure, because you're going to have C9 banning out Mirage, which is a really strong map for
Dignitas.
For Dignitas, so like I would guess that they're going to pick Inferno. I mean Dignitas, since like as I mentioned, like Cloud9 has had like they lost 3 times on Inferno against EU teams, it was Navi, VP, and I don't remember like the third team, and they only got five rounds as T in those 3 games. Like
Might have been Fnatic.
2 in 2 games and 1 in 1 game. So that's been like god awful. Even before they brought Freak and everything, like Inferno was the map they always thought they could play, but they were never actually that good at it.
That actually all stemmed back to Complexity days when they finally beat Very Games on that go
With
back
that-
to A, go
with
back
that
to A
fake,
round. Yeah, that mid-round
That
call.
was amazing,
And
though.
because that was their first international win, it was always like, yeah, we'll take Inferno, yeah, we'll take, and it never, like, all the C9 fans would be sitting at home like, why? But yet they always picked it. So it's finally good that they realize it's
But you
not
have
a
two
map.
teams that have had that approach, right? That are just going to stubbornly keep picking a map forever and ever and ever until they're good at it. And Sean Garris is one of those leaders, and Happy is the other.
Yeah.
And both of them with the same map.
It's Inferno, right? Remember the whole Thorn
Both of them
debate?
with Inferno.
We are the best on the, I'm not even going to do
Well,
it. We're the best on Inferno.
Is that Envy now have a real crack at that? You
Yeah,
know,
they do.
They can take
The
any
new
of the top 2
roster.
teams on that map. So, you know, maybe there's a method to the madness here, boys. Maybe, you know, there is some way to this.
I actually feel like this veto is really interesting, as you're saying, particularly because I feel like Dignitas are going to be much more relaxed. I think it's a bit more simple for them because I think Cloud9 need to avoid overpass personally, as well as Mirage. And the thing is, the situation for Dignitas is regarding Inferno, because this is like another map where I could see it maybe going wrong for Cloud9. Is Inferno? The Inferno that Dignitas just played wasn't necessarily too hot against Immunity. Like they struggled a lot actually. So they might be coming off of the Inferno thinking, actually, we don't feel good on this map at the moment. And sometimes that emotional influence is pretty important.
Did pick up some decent late T rounds, but we do have the veto on screen now. So I'll walk you through it again because it goes by the numbers as opposed to the order we're seeing it in. So first and foremost, Dust 2 taken out by Dignitas immediately. Followed that up. You were right, Yanko, that Cloud9, they would remove Mirage, and that is a strong map for Dignitas. Inferno was picked up, so you guys were right on that one. The Dignitas do want to try and take Cloud9. That's map number 3. Cash is number 4. And then the following bans were Overpass. And then what's the last one? I'm not saying. Or rather, excuse me, Cobblestone by Dignitas, then
Decider.
Overpass, and then Train's the Decider. So
All right,
what do we think
well,
about this?
I'm thinking that Dignitas with this pick on Inferno, they've got something up their sleeve. And there is an argument to be made there just because, okay, they played against Immunity. It was a bit of a rough and tumble fight, but they don't have any information to go off of when it comes to Immunity. They have literally nothing. Cloud9 is a different story. You may have been able to do a bit of your homework on Cloud9. You can prepare for this one. I mean, you can be sure that, you know, Dignitas coming over to this event, they're saying, okay, who's in our group? Where can we find a weakness? So perhaps that's what MSL is thinking, wanting to go for this first map as, you know, having it as Inferno. Get it out of the way. If it works, it doesn't. Otherwise, you know, we wrap up solid on Cash and Train.
Well, let's get into the nitty-gritty of it because the knife round is live. I said it right that time. There we go. Predictions, and I want a player to watch from each of you as well. Don't care which team. Starting with Sembler.
Starting with me.
Yes. The man who just looked away from me.
Well, I wanted to like go last actually, because then I could
Do
just,
you?
actually do
Do
it
we
right.
give him what we want? Yanko, you go first.
I go first. Well, I have to say it's going to be 2-1. I'm not sure for
Really?
who. Let's say it's going to be 2-1 for Cloud9 because they're the favorites, and I would again pick Skadoodle as a player to watch because he underperformed in the first series, and you'll rarely see him underperform 2 times in a row. And from Dignitas, I think the player to look out for is Schneider, definitely, to see if he's going to like pick up the reins and be the one to carry his team to a possible upset.
For me, it's really, really close, but I want to lean towards the 2-1 as well. Of course, in favor of Cloud9, the definite favorites. I actually think I'm going to say Pimp for Dignitas as a player to watch because he's actually a guy that tends to deliver the most. I don't think Kiabi is necessarily there yet. I want to say Kiabi, but I don't think he's there yet. So I'm going to go with Pimp for Dignitas. When it comes to Cloud9, it's got to be Skadoodle. Yeah.
And now you can't dodge it any longer, Sembler. I see you still looking away.
No, yeah. Well, the problem is the camera isn't on me anymore, so my joke kind of goes out the window.
Oh, that's
I'm
too
going to
bad.
go with Skadoodle from Cloud9 as my player to watch, just because Moses isn't here, so I gotta stand up for my boy. So there we go. You hear Dignitas getting pumped. Guardian isn't here, so I have to go with Skadoodle as being the man to watch. That's pretty much it.
And score?
Score will be 2-1 to Cloud9.
2-1 Cloud9. So all 3 of you guys in agreement. Dignitas, you heard them do their chant, sitting back down, and
That's
with
right,
that,
AC. We talked about you.
We've said enough. We've said it all. The rest now that can be done is to be talked about in the server, in the game by the players. And in order to make that more enjoyable for you guys to watch, it's going to be Anders